Hi everyone, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Game of Thrones Season 8 Episode 5 Q&A video, so here we go. I picked all these questions from my Episode 5 video and my Episode 6 finale trailer video, so if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Game of Thrones videos. We'll have prequel stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. It was actually just revealed that they've started shooting the Game of Thrones prequel series already in Northern Ireland, so we'll talk about that in a separate video later this week because it's not related to what Dan and Dave are doing. They're not going to be associated with Game of Thrones TV shows going forward. So all the prequel stuff will be completely different creative teams working with George R. R. Martin. There's a new round of the HBO Now giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. And obviously spoiler warning for everything through episode 5 in the episode 6 finale trailer. So here we go. First question, Jonathan Quinn asks, do you think that Cersei is still alive and Tyrion kills her out of mercy before Daenerys executes her, betraying her, gets himself killed? No, I definitely think that Cersei and Jaime were supposed to have died in that cave-in. I think people have become so attuned to surprises on Game of Thrones that anytime you see a big character seemingly die, and you don't see the body in the way that you saw Qyburn's death, like you actually saw his corpse sitting there. But after the episode aired, Lena Headey and Nikolai Coster-Waldau in real life were doing the typical posts that actors do when they're not going to be playing their characters anymore. Like, I love this so much, it was such a great opportunity for me, it changed my life. All the customary RIP posts that actors give to their characters. Next question, Gina Julian asks, no one seems to be addressing this, but what was the favor Tyrion was asking of Davos? What did he want him to smuggle? I believe he was arranging for the skiff to be out back with that escape route that Jaime was going to use to take him and Cersei to Pentos. Even if he wasn't going to sail them to Pentos himself, the whole idea is that he's a smuggler, so he was going to help smuggle them out of the King's Landing area. Next question, Coach JT asks, do you think that Arya Stark will kill Daenerys and become the savior of Westeros after she rode off on that white horse? Then talking about the symbolism of the white horse in mythology. Yeah, I do think they're going for heavy symbolism with the white horse, but I don't think that Arya would ultimately be the person to kill Daenerys if that is what's going to happen. As a faceless person, Arya serves the many-faced god, which is basically a representation of death, the way they think about it. She serves death. Death has many faces. I look forward to meeting this one when she was talking about the Night King. And the Night King was almost a literal interpretation of death, kind of a walking death. But there is a passage in the New Testament talking about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and it says, I looked and behold, an ashen horse, and he who sat on it had the name Death. So it was almost like Arya is Death, riding a pale horse. So it was making heavy metaphors about creeping death, Arya, coming for Daenerys. But obviously the show harps a lot on subverting expectations, so I don't think that Arya ultimately would be the person to kill Daenerys. But I do think that she's definitely going to get close and try to do it. Next question, RHT785 asks, still not convinced why Daenerys used the nuclear option. I mean, okay to destroy enemies, but civilians? That goes 100% against what she did in all the show. So the thing about that is that you have to remember is that she did burn a lot of her enemies. There are a lot of quotes that people have pulled from her across the series too that imply that she's very ready to burn everyone if they don't do what she says.
When my dragons are grown, we will take back what was stolen from me and destroy those who have wronged me. We will lay waste to armies and burn cities to the ground. Turn us away, and we will burn you first.
A better metaphor would probably be her going around Slaver's Bay trying to eliminate slavery, like during the Battle of Meereen way back during Season 4. Daenerys took Meereen by force, crucified all the wise masters. Then if you're thinking logically, there was probably a lot of collateral damage during those fights that they just did not show you on screen. They tried to do a better job of that in later seasons when the Harpies started to rise up to try and oust her out of Meereen. Like towards the end of Season 5, it got real bad. It wasn't just the Harpies that were trying to get rid of her, it was actually a lot of the locals too that wanted things to go back to the old way just because it was such a part of their culture. And especially up to Dance with Dragons, the most recent book, she becomes incredibly impatient about acting on her plans. Like during episode 4 when they were trying to counsel Daenerys that they just blockade King's Landing and wait Cersei out and she wouldn't have it. No, we need to go right now. She's like that a lot in the books, so there is something that's lost between book Daenerys and TV show Daenerys in translation, and it's just another big thing on the laundry list of problems that the show has had trying to adapt the narrative, especially doing it in such a condensed way. But if you haven't read the books, obviously you wouldn't have gotten that extra context, so if you are a show-only watcher, it's totally forgivable if you feel like this twist came out of nowhere and you weren't expecting it. Next question, Amber Herring asks, is Daenerys going to spring a baby on us in the last episode? Yeah, I gotta say, I don't think it's gonna happen. Had they had more seasons, they might have done something like that. The whole idea is that on the TV show the last couple of seasons, as well as in the books, they heavily foreshadow that Daenerys will eventually become pregnant again. But the thing is there are a lot of things from the books that the TV show has not done. So in the alternate universe version of events, where they say do 10 seasons of Game of Thrones, what might have happened is that Daenerys would become pregnant towards the final seasons, and then maybe she also loses that baby in some tragic event, and that also helps push her towards Mad Queen faster. But the way it seems like they're going, there's just so much stuff that they have to wrap up in the finale. I think the ending will be tragic enough that we don't also need to pile a dead baby on top of that too. So just call that Jon Snow Daenerys baby that she might have had a casualty of the show, condensing the story so much. Next question, Yojitsu asks, do you think that Bran will kill Daenerys with a Lannister crossbow bolt to secure his castle that Tyrion owes him? Well, to answer your first question, no, I don't think that he's going to be involved with Daenerys' potential death if she does wind up dying, and I don't know if he's going to get his castle either because that was a Lannister promise, not a Stark promise. You have to remember who's going to be left alive if Daenerys winds up dying, and it was Jaime and Tyrion that promised Bran the castle, so that would depend on whether or not you think Tyrion is going to be alive at the end of the story too. And remember, Daenerys did say that she would basically kill him if she failed him again, and it does sound like Tyrion has already betrayed her by helping Jaime escape. So it's a pretty safe bet that he's walking on eggshells and his days are numbered. Next question, Charisse asks, if Daenerys dies, will Drogon accept Jon as his new rider? I think part of the idea at the beginning of the season when Drogon gave him that big stare is that he didn't want to have anything to do with anything that was not Daenerys. The sound designer that actually makes the sound that the dragons make said that in this moment, the way she was playing it is that Drogon was telling Jon Snow that the only person she rides is me. It'd be like if you tried to go on a date with a girl and you came to her house and her dog got really territorial. There was a deleted scene where Jon talked about having a mental link with Rhaegal a little bit, but because it's an outtake, I don't think the show is ever fully going to address that. So no, I didn't expect anybody to ride Drogon after Daenerys if she winds up dying. Next question, Stephanie asks, why did Jon reject Daenerys? It's all about that staunch Ned Stark honor. Very bad thing within the context of a Game of Thrones now. Remember when Daenerys' small council got upset with Jon Snow earlier on the show? Why couldn't you just lie to her this one time? Why do you have to be so dang honorable? The whole idea of Ned Stark's honor getting him killed is that he felt like he was compelled to out Joffrey as a bastard, as the son of Jaime Lannister, so he ran to the castle to proclaim it to everyone that would hear, this boy does not belong on the Iron Throne. He was not prepared for the game the Lannisters were playing. Littlefinger obviously backstabbed him. I told you you shouldn't trust me. Therefore, I think one of the underlying messages of Game of Thrones is that too much honor is a very bad thing. And obviously, Jon just felt like it was the wrong thing to do. It was dishonorable for someone to marry someone that they were related to or to be with them in a relationship. Next question, Melissa asks, if George R. R. Martin is saying the main character's ends will mostly be the same, I don't understand how Cersei's Valonqar prophecy is then fulfilled. Well, one of the cheats that the show gave itself is that it excluded the Valonqar part of Maggie the Frog's prophecy. There were a lot of people after the episode that saw that Jaime's hands were sort of wrapped around Cersei's neck a little bit, so you could say that they tried to fulfill a version of the Valonqar, but it wasn't a literal interpretation of the prophecy. Like during my finale trailer video yesterday, I talked about Jon Snow becoming Azor Ahai if he potentially killed Daenerys. She would be his Nissa Nissa, which is a big part of the Azor Ahai prophecy. But the show has never tried to be literal with the way it fulfills prophecies, so you have to think of them paying these off in a more metaphorical way. So like Jon forges Lightbringer by plunging it through Daenerys' breast. That doesn't mean that his sword would start glowing like a lightsaber or anything like that. I mean, it would glow red with her blood, but that's about it. So when we're talking about Valonqar, you just have to think about it that way. So kind of wrapping his hands around her neck, and Jaime is the younger of the two twins. Cersei actually came out of their mother's womb first, so technically he is the quote-unquote younger one. Next question, Ignacio asks, do you think that Bran has anything to do with the white horse that appeared in front of Arya? Can we expect anything from Bran? No, I don't think he had anything to do with the white horse. I think that was just the show going for that metaphor of Arya being death riding a pale horse. Bran is still alive, he's at Winterfell right now, so I do think he's going to show up during the finale sometime. All the main characters that are still alive will probably appear during the finale at some point. The next question, Lavoon asks, in your Q&A video, would you do a segment addressing your own opinion of what's happening so far in the season? Like, how do you actually feel about it, and if you have any criticism? I think I've been pretty clear about my biggest criticisms, the last couple of episodes in particular, just them trying to cram way too much of the story into too few a number of episodes. There's never been a bigger disparity between the high quality of the actual technical aspects of the episodes and the filmmaking quality and the quality of the writing and the narrative. So obviously I think most of us aren't really happy with the way the scripts have gone down and the way they're pacing the story out, and a lot of this could just be solved if they had done a couple extra seasons. But the way Dan and Dave explain it is that the HBO tried to pay them more money to do more episodes and they turned them down. So it's totally understandable if you're really upset about the way this went down, when really we should have had at least another 20 or so episodes just to flesh all these character arcs out. Next question, Silver Phoenix asks, do you think that Martin has already finished the books? The actor that plays Barristan Selmy said that in an interview. There were a lot of people asking about this the last couple of days. George R. R. Martin got pissed. He came out recently to debunk that theory. He's like, no, I haven't even started writing Dream of Spring yet, so no, I don't think that he's finished the books. I do believe Martin when he says that he's not finished with Winds of Winter yet, and the actor that plays Barristan Selmy was probably just mistaken when he said that. Next question, Nicole asks, can you make a video about how the books do a better job of foreshadowing how Dany will eventually go mad? I'll probably do a video after the season is up about all the prophecies they fulfilled and all the big character arcs and things like that, so I am starting to make that list right now. If there are any really special videos that you guys want me to do after the season is over, just let me know in the comments too. But there'll be obviously a lot of bonus videos coming, and then I'll start doing videos for the prequel series too, because like I said, they actually just started filming the Game of Thrones prequel this week. Thank you so much everyone for submitting questions. These are always fun to do. Obviously, I'll do the same thing for the finale video and then that bonus episode 7 that they're doing after that too. Quick reminder about that, there's a special episode that's airing the week after the finale, so it's not meant to be a canonical episode, it's just like a bonus episode on top of the season. I will do a video for that just like I would for any of the other episodes, so no worries. Congratulations to the giveaway winner from my last big Game of Thrones video, Amelia Hernandez. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Click here for my Season 8 Episode 6 finale trailer video. We're in the endgame now. And click here for my Episode 5 video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.